Good afternoon, class. So last week we began with verbs, and before the last thing that we did was the helping verbs and the linking verbs. We have transitive verbs and intransitive verbs to cover, but before we move on to that information, there is something that is very important that you need to know before we cover that. And the first thing is, one of you asked about direct and indirect object, and we are finally going to get to that. So before we start, you need to know that sentences contain three important things: the subject, the verb, and the object. So the objects of a sentence, those are words that receive the action of a transitive verb. And this is one example so you can get a better understanding of how objects function in a sentence. The children play checkers. So we have the subject of the sentence, which we will call the doers of the action play, which is an action verb. And we have checkers as the object of the sentence. So usually the order in a sentence is the subject, the verb, then the object. And what an object does is just receive the verb of whatever verb is in the sentence. So right here, checkers would be the object, the receiver of the action play, or the verb. We have two types of objects. The first one is the direct object, which is a noun or a pronoun that receives the action of the verb. So you will find, when you find an object, you have to try to determine whether it is a noun or a pronoun. If it is not a noun or a pronoun, it is not the object of the sentence. So the direct object is the direct receiver of the verb. And if you are having any trouble trying to find the direct object in your sentence, you need to ask yourself, does it answer the question whom or what? So that is to guide you. And I have one example here. I met Mason. So we have the subject I. We have the verb met. I met who? I met what? I have it right here in brackets. I met whom. Does it answer the question whom? Whom did I meet? Mason. So Mason is the object of the sentence because he is the receiver of the action met. Remember, the direct object receives the direct object is the direct receiver of the verb.